Hello, my name is Thomas Kramer. Today's educational activity is Pennsylvania Park Peloton. I'm a recreation park and tourism management undergraduate. Today's goals will be learning about the importance of bike safety and maneuvering on the street and paths. You will also be provided an opportunity to broaden your knowledge about different styles of bikes to use on certain paths along with trail recommendations. Lesson objectives for today: identify what the proper safety procedures of handling and maneuvering a bike involves, be able to tell the difference between bikes and which terrains are appropriate for certain bikes, understand signage rules and parking when biking at a DCNR park, and learn when it is unsafe to ride a bike. Be able to use biking vocabulary and terms for an end of presentation quiz. And lastly, participants will appreciate that Washington Crossing Historic Park is a great place to ride and access the Delaware Canal towpath for easy biking, but viewers will also learn about other great DCNR parks to choose from. Bike etiquette. For bike etiquette, make sure that you ride open trails. Don't go off trail and disturb the park's wildlife. Leave no trace. This includes trash or belongings when you're biking. Try to bike controlled, not recklessly, where you could injure yourself or others. When biking, yield appropriately. Follow proper signage throughout the park. When on your bike and if you encounter an animal, do your best to not scare it. Just keep doing your go your way and let them be not harmed. And lastly, for your bike trips, plan ahead and plan accordingly. Now we'll be discussing about DCNR trails and mountain bike trails. For advanced bike trails, they can be found at Nakamixon State Park. Currently, at the moment, it's closed for the season, but they can currently have people sign up whenever for mountain biking, for their mountain biking Facebook group. Anybody can join. You can tune in at any point. Trail conditions are maintained by a volunteer group. This is really important too. So really make sure to respect the path that they create for you on a day-to-day basis or a week-to-week. Down below, you see a link here attached. This will send you to a web page where you can click on biking. It comes up with all the maps and links to certain parks with biking trails, and you can click on Nakamixon there to learn more about what they have to offer. So here is two maps of Nakamixon. The one on the left is a map to get to Nakamixon. On the right, this is a picture of the mountain biking trails at Nakamixon. You can find this picture by clicking on the link down below on the PowerPoint and click on ridenox.com as soon as you get onto their webpage. Remember to use caution when biking the trails. Some slopes are really narrow and could be slick or steep. The trail is equipped for riders that are off-road riders. Trails are closed on wet conditions. Nakamixon also includes a 2-mile paved bicycle path. So on the eastern end, where you park before you start the 2.5-mile bike ride, you can view the lake, pretty scenery. Then on the western side of the park, you can, or the trail, you can see a waterfall going into a pond. And the trails, once again, are maintained by a volunteer group. At Washington Crossing Historical Park, there are some areas when riders must pay attention to signage, be respectful, and walk your bikes. This in turn helps provide a better experience for those people who are walking as part of Washington Crossing Historical Park historic interpretive tours. Down below, once again, is an attached link to dcnrpa.gov. Sends you to the link Find a Park. You click on Washington Crossing Historical Park, takes you to pages, and then click on biking, and you'll get what you need from there. You'll get the Delaware towpath for that, and we'll go more in depth on this next slide. So map of Washington Crossing Historical Park. Here is the upper section, and that's like a 2.5-mile bike ride there. And from there, that's all I really need to know for the New Jersey side. I want to get more involved with the lower section here. So as you can see, down below, the lagoon is in this section. And along the lagoon is the Delaware towpath right there. And you follow that. But this is really important because there for the lower section on the Pennsylvania side, it's nicknamed DNL, which is connecting the towns of Washington Crossing and Yardley with a 4.5-mile trail along the canal towpath, which I showed you. It's along the lagoon. It's really nice. It's a flat trail, 4.5 miles. Just be aware of walkers, pedestrians as you bike. Beautiful area though. I've been there. Types of bikes you may see when adventuring the parks. This is going to be a fun one. Number one, road bike. Lightweight, efficient bikes with drop handlebars and narrow tires for recreational riding mostly. Recreational rides can be anywhere between cycling, road biking to just flat bike and just flat surfaces, even hills. This bike is made for road biking or continuously flat portions of road along with hills as long as the bike stays on smooth surfaces. It's a thin tire, really thin, thinner than a mountain bike tire. And there's no, it's supposed to be pretty flat, no tread. So just for it helps increase speed. Mountain bike, this one is now a little bit more rugged with flat handlebars and wide knobby tires to help you ride on narrow trails. This bike can also be ridden for leisure as well. So you can see it on Knockamixon as well as the canal towpath for Washington Crossing Historical Park. Fat bikes are really interesting. I think they're a really neat type of bike. You may see these at both parks. The interesting thing between a fat bike and a mountain bike tire is a little bit thinner. A fat bike, though, where the fat gets its name is the tire itself is 3 inches wider than the standard tire for mountain bike. And the reason why that it's a little bit fatter is because it needs to have that flotation and traction, often for sand, snow, or trails. And these are just excessive compared to regular tires. Tandem bikes are really neat. Tandem bikes are bicycles built for 2 or more people, and thus are often built with reinforced frames and components to handle extra weight. If you're lucky, you might see this along the canal at Washington Crossing Historical Park. You won't see these ridden up in the mountain trails in Knockamixon. You run the risk for injury just because of one person being in the back, one person in the front. Not that safe. Now, lastly, we have a recumbent bike in contrast to a traditional bike where riders sit upright. Recumbents put people in a more comfortable position, sitting in a chair in a reclined position. And some people find this actually more comfortable. Typically, you would see this more in aged or injured riders. Typically minor injuries, major injuries, either way, but is a really neat bike. 3 tires. Lastly, bike safety. Be safe. Don't forget to wear your helmet. Helmets must be worn level and snug on top of your head with a chin strap securely fastened. When inside the park, please be considerate of other trail users. Ride to the right and signal when passing. So this could be verbal, this could be hand gestures. Whatever you do, just enjoy the park, be safe, and let others enjoy the park as well. Lesson quiz for the day. We're going to do true or false really quick. True or false? Trail conditions are maintained by a volunteer group at Washington Crossing Historical Park. This is actually false. The right answer is Knockamixon. They do these they do maintaining with a volunteer group at Knockamixon. True or false? Recumbent bikes are useful for older individuals or individuals that have sustained any minor or major injury. The answer is actually true. Number 3, Nakamixon offers mountain bike trails. And this answer is also true. And lastly, true or false, it is okay for individuals to ride closed trails and to not yield to pedestrians. And the answer is false. You want to make sure that you ride on open trails and yield to pedestrians to be safe. And lastly, here are some references that I used to help make this presentation ride smoothly for you guys. So once again, thank you so much. My name is Thomas Kramer, and I hope you all enjoyed our educational lesson about bike safety and different unique aspects and trails regarding certain parks of Washington Crossing Historical Park, as well as Nakamixon. And I hope you use the resources I provided for you on your next journey to a DCNR park near you. Thank you and have a wonderful rest of your day.